I'm joined by Kyle Balgames. Welcome, Kyle.
How are you?
Raja Suleiman with Orzhov.
Max McVitie.
Congratulations, Brian to Mars.
Zach Allen. I wouldn't be here without these guys, though. So.
And the champion of Proto Counter-Attack here, Relax.
Alright, welcome everybody to Making Magic Happen, brought to you by RW Hobbies and Games in Livonia, Michigan. I'm Zach, today joined by my teammate,
Raja.
And playing more standard. I think this is the last paper standard we're going to do for a little while. Arena should have released yesterday, everyone should be able to play it at this point, but just more data for everybody so they can get some idea of other decks that are working, and these are some of the decks we liked a little bit more from our testing process. I think these decks are both here to stay, so wanted to see how they fared against each other.
Yeah, you can watch these videos while Arena updates for 3 hours.
That's a valid point. So I am going to play 4-color Omnath again. You know, we found a bunch of other decks. We found this early, went and looked for other stuff, but I think this is here to stay. Omnath is, I still think, just the most powerful card from the set that's not a land. I haven't seen one that's more powerful, and when you can cast this card and use his abilities, he's absolutely insane.
Yep.
I'm not positive this is the right Omnath shell, but it's a good one. So I have six spell lands. I have Fabled Passage laid out here because Fabled Passage is really important for the landfall. I've got a lot of landfall happening here between Lotus Cobra and Omnath, but 6 spell lands is really how I'm getting away. I'm playing 30 lands plus ramp. Like, I have ramp creatures, just a whole bunch of ramp creatures, I guess. And, you know, to play 30 lands with ramp, you got to really have something big. And this deck does have Genesis Ultimatum, but nothing that costs more than 5 outside of that. So you're not really ramping into crazy stuff. Past that, you're kind of actually ramping into the lands, which is weird, but it is what's happening here. Fabled Passage trigger landfall. I have more Balaged recoveries than Turn Timber Serpentine Woods, I guess. Oh, this should be Turn Timber Symbiosis. But regardless, yeah, I have more of this one, and the point is that Balaged recovery gets back the cards that matter, and in this deck, it is Terror of the Peaks and Genesis Ultimatum. Thank you. Yeah, these 2 cards, and I guess Omnath to some extent, really, they're just so much better than every other card that bringing them back, I think, is really important. And so Genesis Ultimatum is really how this deck works. You look at the top 5 cards of your library, put any number of permanents into play from those 5, and draw the rest. And if you hit Terror of the Peaks and some creatures, you can just end up killing the opponent.
Yeah.
It's not crazy to hit a Terror of the Peaks and Omnath in 2 lands, and then you can even hit 3 lands, and then all of a sudden Omnath is doming you for 4. I made even more mana. Terror of the Peaks is hitting you for another 4. I can play another creature with the mana I made. You might be dead.
And if you ever hit like 2 terrors plus anything, that's pretty much always lethal.
Yep. And so the fact that Genesis Ultimatum can kill you is insane because it's really just a value card in this deck at the same time. I've got Uro to fight through removal. It's not. This deck is actually pretty bad at bringing Uro back by itself. So Uro really is just kind of an explore. Unless you're using removal, then I get this really messed up plan of just bringing back a 6/6 Titan. But he does work really well with Terror of the Peaks. He's an explorer that if there's a Terror of the Peaks in play, just deals 6 to something.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But the best card in the entire deck is Lotus Cobra by a mile. When the deck has Lotus Cobra, it's so much better than when it doesn't. I have Elysian Caryatid as bad Lotus Cobra. Caryatid is nice because it triggers off of creatures having 4 power or more, then it taps for 2, and I have a lot of those. I have Bone Crusher. I can actually tap it with the Uro trigger on the stack to, you know, make an explosive turn 3. Omnath triggers it. Terror triggers it. If I have a Beanstalk Giant in play, it triggers it. And this is what I'm doing different from the last version. I have Beanstalk Giant and Solemn Simulacrum instead of ramp spells. I do think the ramp spells are better, but I wanted to try these out to see. They are much better hits on Genesis Ultimatum because I generate board presence along with using them to trigger Terror. So I think it might be better from that perspective, but I'm going to miss the Royal, it's the Hero, I think it's Royal something. That worked a lot better at bringing Uro back, like putting stuff in my yard for Uro, so I'm going to miss that. And Migration Path, it ramps harder than Solemn, so that might cost me as well. But I'll have to see. Solemn at least is a body, it can block, draw me another card, get me closer to Genesis Ultimatum. But yeah, I mean, Bone Crusher is the cheap removal spell that also works well with Terror and Ultimatum. But the deck is just an Omnath deck, and I think I didn't read it, but Omnath 4/4 that draws a card, and then gains 4 the first land that enters the battlefield, makes 4 mana the second time a land enters the battlefield, and deals 4 damage to you and all planeswalkers you control the third time a land enters the battlefield, which is just really busted.
Yeah, for sure. That card is... It's a lot of text on a 4-drop. I mean, I don't know.
A 4-drop that already drew a card?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, that's it. I'm trying to tear the Pixiu out. What are you doing here?
So I'm playing White-Black Sacrifice. This deck is very much a synergy-based deck. Starts with 4 Whisper Squad. Whisper Squad is kind of like a way to create disposable bodies. And those bodies get sacrificed to Village Rites and Feud Artisan. We have Selfless Savior. This card primarily exists to protect luminous broodmoth, which is what the deck's basically built around. Luminous broodmoth makes it so that all these cards kind of have a one-time protection against a removal spell or combat or anything. But there's not really a way to protect it, so we play the Selfless Savior because it protects the broodmoth, and then when you sack the Savior, it goes back and protects something else again.
Yep.
Which is usually just the broodmoth if you really want to protect
Sure.
it.
Also, Selfless Savior works really good with Loris.
Works great with Loris, it's a nice buyback. Loris is just great in this deck because you have a lot of cards that you want to cast again that cost 2 or less. Acquisitions Expert is a nice card that, once again, it creates an immediate effect and then it gives you a body that you're not too disappointed to sacrifice, so whether it be either one of these outlets. And then we have Voe Strider, which is the free sack outlet. Way to, use our escape cards in the graveyard. It gives you selection and lets you kind of do some of the combo kills, which usually revolve around putting a Grey Merchant in play with a Luminous Broodmoth. So then you play the Grey Merchant, trigger it, sack it again, it comes back because the Luminous Broodmoth with flying this time, triggers again. Sometimes that can just kill your opponent if you have, 5 or 6 devotion, and they've been...
Sure.
And your deck is pretty good at chipping away, so like, you're going to deal damage incidentally over the first few turns, and then you can try to set that up. Then we have some ways to interact with our opponent in the form of Skycleave, Apparition, and Demon's Disciple. Disciple's pretty cool once again with the Broodmoth because you can play it, you can sacrifice it to itself if you want, it comes back and triggers again, so your opponent gets to eat twice off of 1 card. And then we have Null Priest of Oblivion. This card's cool because it can get you back your important engine cards, but while also being a Cleric, Evasive Body, good against aggro decks. Just a card I'll try out. I'm only playing 1 today, but if it turns out to be good, maybe I'll add some more.
Sure. I think, after the last time we played this deck, it really felt like Acquisitions Expert was one of the best cards in the entire deck. So really anything that can make that better, I'm interested in.
Yeah, for sure. We have 2 Clerics. Maybe we need to be playing more. We'll see how the games go. And then we have Agadeem's Awakening, which is really good in this deck because basically, if you count these as lands, the only non-creature spell is Village Rites, which just draws more creatures anyway.
Yep.
And this is just a way to just like completely undo anything your opponent's been trying to do by trying to fight against your creatures. Yeah, it's just a really busted card. I think this is one of the best cards in the set. I'm really excited to play with it again.
Yeah, that card, I mean, we were playing with all these lands. They're all good, but I think the black and the white one are the best 2. I think by a pretty wide margin.
I think that's true too, yeah.
And you get to play both of them, which is really interesting.
Yep.
I guess you can make an argument for Shatter Skull Smashing. It's probably in there with those 2, but I think those 2 are better.
What I like about these 2, more so, like they give them the nod over Shatter Skull in my opinion, is that they're proactive. Shatter Skull is a reactive card, so you kind of need your opponent to be cooperating with you, presenting threats, whether it be creatures or planeswalkers. Whereas these are just like, you play your game, they're going to be spells.
Yeah, and they feel game-winning too, both of them do.
For sure, especially the black one, I think it's got the highest ceiling.
Sure.
It has that most broken, I did this for 5, got back 5 creatures. Like, none of the other ones are doing anything like that.
Yep.
If you're drawing that many cards with the blue one, you're probably winning that game anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Sure.
But yeah, this is basically the deck. Fiend Artisan, it has some good bullet targets in the sideboard. It's got a couple of good ones in the main deck, and it just grows. This deck's all creatures. They're going to go to the graveyard eventually, and it can find more copies of itself, and it just attacks hard. Like I said, a lot of synergy in this deck. A lot of cute things I'm sure you'll see in the games.
Yep.
So let's play it up.
Yeah, let's battle.
Alright, I think I've lost like 4 straight die rolls. I need to get this one.
What do you want?
Odd.
Taste it. Ooh, this hand's kind of awkward, but I I have these 3 cards, which are kind of like the best cards in the deck, so I do think it's a keep. But I really need to draw a land.
I have a mulligan. I had a 1-lander.
Fair enough.
I want to shuffle more, but someone was rushing me. You know what's kind of sick? If I played this card in my deck, with the Moth in play, just like, kind of like play Wind.
Yeah, that's actually kind of sweet.
And I'll just like use the Selfless Savior to protect my,
Yeah.
There's definitely a keep. I think this is the ship.
Alright, we good?
Yep.
Try and go. Let's catch you a try.
Okay. I will play a Selfless Savior.
Fabled Passage, you go.
1, yeah.
19.
Discard a card.
Discard a card.
Yeah, boy.
I'm gonna discard in a row.
Okay. It's pretty good.
Go.
Ooh.
Missing the land drop. Keeping a 2-laner in a 30-land deck. Frustrating. Not gonna block. I would have 17.
Right. I will play Branch Loft Pathway as the white pathway. This one. And I will play Wolf Strider. Trigger. Goat. Go ahead.
Land. Go.
Yeah, I'll just draw here. I'm gonna Village Rights away my goat.
Yep.
Commit. Attack for 5.
Go to 12.
Alright, I will play a Bright Climb Pathway as a Grim Climb Pathway. And cast a Luris.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you. Alright. Hit a land. That's gonna add white mana. And I'm gonna play an Omnath.
Okay.
Here you go.
Commit.
Mm-hmm.
I will attack with everybody.
I'll block Luris.
Okay. I will sack the Savior.
Yep.
So we're going to take 4.
Yep.
I'm making 3.
Yep.
I will recast the Savior.
Yep.
Play this pathway as the black one. And cast a Fiend Artisan.
Yep.
Good. Yeah, good. Sorry.
I was gonna say, all we need to do here is draw a land. It would be fantastic. Doing a very good job of that. I'm gonna beanstalk, I guess.
Okay. It's gonna get you 4 life at least.
Yep, go back to 12. Would have been much better to have 6 mana this turn.
I'm sure. Oh, it would have been way more than 6 mana, right?
Yeah, I would have had like 8. I could have cast a Genesis Ultimatum if I drew a land.
Yeah, it's kind of broken.
Yeah. 2 land hand in a 30 land deck. Alright. I have 2 mana. Yeah, I'll shock this.
I'll sacrifice.
Alright. Here you go.
So it's a pretty easy sacrifice because that's a 2 black devotion. We're going to cast this guy. So he's actually going to drain for 8.
Alright.
And then we're going to go to combat. And I think this might be... Well, I don't think this is lethal actually. So, yep. Attack with everybody.
I'm at 4.
You're at 4.
Yeah, so I have to... You only have 1 creature in the graveyard, so this is a 2/2.
Yep.
So I just have to block both the 3s.
Yeah, but you still die. Because I just sacrifice something to make this bigger.
Oh, sure.
So I guess this is just lethal. Yeah, this is
alright,
lethal.
block like that.
Yeah, I'll just sacrifice this. Or I can't sacrifice that one. I'll sacrifice... Whatever the one... Which one are you blocking this one on?
Yeah, just sack the lures. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
whichever one you're blocking that one on, I'll sack.
Still wasn't going to draw a land. That's ridiculous.
It's rough. Sorry. I'm
You're gonna play.
going to keep, yeah.
You gonna keep?
Yep.
My hand's a little land heavy this time. Shocker. I had a hand that had no lands before. I still think it's a keep, though. I've got good early plays, which is what this deck really wants to see in its opener.
Okay. Got...
The squad! I'm going to play a Temple of Plenty and Scry. I'll leave that.
Oops. Alright. Temple. On the bottom of that. Attack for 1.
19.
Good. Someone's so excited to cast Low Score, bro.
Go!
Oh, there it
Oh,
is.
so good.
Attack.
No box.
You sure?
Yep.
Alright. Go ahead. Oh man.
Playing Elysian Caryatid,
Alright.
and then I'm just gonna play a Ketria Triumph and pass.
Alright, and step
I
out.
guess I'll because you can get this as a speed.
It's tapped though.
Oh, it's tapped?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take her too.
Okay.
I was trying to think if there's a flash thing. I don't think you have any flash stuff.
So I'm gonna squat up here,
Squad.
and then I'll immediately throw them in the dumpster to draw 2 cards.
Oh, value, dude.
Yeah, pretty sick. So I keep offering up this trade.
I'm still not taking it.
Okay, it's unsurprising. I'm gonna fetch a swamp. I'm gonna play a Wolf Strider.
Yep.
Get my goat
Go to
and pass.
draw. I'm gonna play this.
Oh,
make
no.
a red.
Well, this is ultimate mana, isn't it?
Is ultimate mana.
Do we have it though?
I don't have it. I wish I did.
Sure.
I'll make another red off this land entering. Would you like to cut?
Mm-mm.
I'm going to cast a Terror of the Squeaks. invitational card, Terra the Squeaks. You go.
I will Village Rights again, second my goat.
It's so much value, dude. It's unbelievable. I actually wonder if I was supposed to do this main phase just because next turn gets crazier. I think maybe I am. Wait, does it matter if I play this? Doesn't. No, it doesn't matter. Alright, you're good.
This is very terrifying board state.
Is Terra the Peak's a problem?
Yeah, my deck's very late on removal. Temple. We'll bottom that. Self the Savior.
Sure.
Ghost Rider.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
Good.
I'm gonna cycle a try. I'm gonna turn.
Okay.
Dude, that was actually kind of interesting here. I don't know how good it is, but it is a little interesting. Oh, wow. That was really interesting. That was very interesting. Right, I think I'm going to start my turn. You know what? I'll leave these untapped. This will make a blue.
Makes 2 mana.
I know, or 2 blue.
Okay.
Or I'll deal 6 to that.
I'll sacrifice it in response.
Yeah. You can save it with the Savior.
Yeah, I'll sacrifice it.
Alright.
Scry. Bottom.
Alright, this is my land off Uro. Scry. Bottom that. Yeah, so I make a mana off this too, so I'll have
Sure.
a red floating. Tap. Doesn't really get me anywhere. Right? Oh no, it does. Oh, it doesn't. No, I guess it's fine. I'll use... No, I'll have a blue floating. Tap like this. Balagid Recovery Uro.
Okay.
And then my land for turn is going to be Seagate Restoration. I'll pay 3. I guess I would have gone back to 20, so I'm back to 17. That'll make another green, and I'll Uro again, and deal 6 to that. Drop.
I think you're crazy for not just going face here, but whatever. I could be at 8 right now, and you have a 5/5. My 5/4 that's got flying. I don't understand why you're going at my creatures, but
You'll see, go ahead.
I'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I will play Ghost Rider, Fiend Artisan, get another goat.
Okay.
Good.
Draw. I'm going to cast a Genesis Ultimatum.
Yep.
Holy cow. Alright, these will come in play and these will come in play. Triggers, first landfall I gain 4. You take 10.
Oh, you wanted to go at my face now?
Yeah, well,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I'm gonna go at your face.
Interesting.
I'll 10 you. Trigger off this. I'll add green and get Oh, I also added green off this and another green. You're taking 4 more. This will get another green. I have a lot of green floating.
Are you going to do something with that green now?
Yeah, and I've got the 4 from this, so
Uh-huh.
I have like 8 mana or something floating.
Uh-huh.
And I guess I turn Timber Symbiosis.
Alright, let's see it.
Top 7.
Mm-hmm.
Or even comes in with counters, so it's even more damage with Terror.
Oh yeah. Gee, it's 3 drop loss.
Any creature?
Any creature. Would you just make one of those cards, Zach?
I take it back. I'm just gonna Beastlar Giant you to death.
13, right? Oh no, it doesn't get the
10.
counters because so it's just 10.
Yeah, take that.
It's just 10. I can take 10. I'm at -4.
Alright, turn Timber Symbiosis. Kind of performing in this
Told you
deck.
this card's better than the
Yeah.
the hero is.
It looks better than the hero is there, that's fair. Alright, you want a board?
Yep.
Alright, we're back post board. For me, again, I'm playing a pretty synergistic deck. I don't like cutting that many pieces. I do think Scavenging is good in this matchup though. Just cutting some of your graveyard targets, gaining some life. Just generically good. It also is just a fine 2-drop play. I can block some of your 1/1 guys. It can just disrupt you enough. And Bone Crusher is good. It can kill some of your engine pieces. I'm cutting some of the ramp from the deck. I think I'm going to have a little bit more time to just naturally play lands post-board, because post-board games get a little grindy, and these are the worst ramp spells in the deck, so I think they're easy cuts.
Okay. For me, I'm trying to bring in more removal to deal with your early mana accelerants, Lotus Cobra. I see you're going at the Dryad, but if the Dryad is still in there to kill the Dryad, it's going to kill the Scavenging Ooze instead.
I mean, realistically, Lotus Cobra is so good in this deck that, like, the draws where I have Lotus Cobra are broken, and the draws where I don't are just fine.
Yep. And then Heartless, they also kill like an Uro or a Omnath.
Sure.
So they're just any of the removal spells. All these cards, I didn't really know what to cut. Similar to what Zach said, my deck is just very synergy driven. I don't want to trim down on like the pieces very much. So instead I just did like one of each, all of which interact with the graveyard, so they're not as susceptible to graveyard hate. I don't think I actually need the ways to like recur my creatures as much against you because you don't have that much removal.
Sure.
So I want to make sure I can kill you. And I think this is the way to go about it, I think. You know, now I'm thinking about it, I think I'd rather cut the draw 2. I don't think I have time to sit there and try to draw cards against you. And I think I want to keep in all the ways to combo kill you.
Okay.
So I'll do this instead.
Yeah, it works for me.
Alright. I'll keep.
I'll keep as well.
Good.
I'm going to play Balagad Recovery as a tap lane into your go.
Right. We'll get a swap.
It is Balagad Sanctuary.
Play Amir's Call as Emiria. Shattered Skyclave. Swing 17. And I will play an Acquisitions Expert.
Oh, I have to discard.
Yep.
I'll discard Rogue and Triumph.
Yep.
That's gotta be wrong. I'm sorry. I'll discard this Shatter Skull Smashing.
Okay.
Alright, we're shooting second one. Scavenging Ooze, here you go.
Attack for... Oh.
So you want to take the 1/2 into the 2/2?
Yeah, I'll attack.
Oh no. Do you have a trick here? I'm gonna block.
Alright, I'll be able to rights.
Alright, oh.
And we will play a Whisper Splash. Good.
Squat it up. Ooh, so I can actually nip this in the bud before it gets started, and I think I'm going to. Bone Crush. Put a Raugrin in play and attack for 2.
15.
Here you go.
I'll play a Wolf Strider.
Yep.
Go. Good.
Hello. Yeah, that works for me. I'll play a Lotus Cobra. Catch you a triangle, make a green, and then I'll eat your acquisitions expert with my scoos. Go to 21. Here you go.
I'll keep him with Scry.
Yep.
Alien's Awakening.
Yep.
There's the Undercrypt. Play Loris.
Yep.
Cast Whisper Squad.
Yep.
Go.
Draw. Fabled Passage, make a blue. Make an island. Make a green. Cast a Genesis Ultimatum.
Yep.
Interesting. I don't think I really do anything with this. Alright, I'll put 2 Triomes and a Forest in play, and a Scavenging Ooze. I'll draw this one. This will make 3 mana, I'll make 3 red. Cast that. And then it's your go. The Value Ultimatum, just a Rave's Call.
That probably means Zach. Especially like he put cards in his hand. I think that means he probably has at least one more ultimatum there. I don't know how we get out of this. This is just like, I'm having trouble enough with the board as is. I haven't seen a single removal spell. I have 8. It's really unfortunate. I think we're gonna go Savior, Fiend Artisan, and pass.
That's a good draw. Make 2 mana. Both be blue again. I guess I'll make blue green, blue red.
Yep.
If I do it that way, I can cast my ultimatum like this. Omnath. Temple, make a green, triggers that. Uro. I can put these lands into play, right, as lands? Or can I not?
No.
Oh, they're permanent cards. Okay, so these will go to my hand. And I can't put them in play off Uro either. So this makes...
The fact that you're interested in that pretty much just tells me that you probably have another ultimatum in your hand. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not.
Maybe not. So
You're just like, wait, I can't play... I have 9 lands to play. I can't play more of these lands.
So I gain 4. This is going to make red. I get a scry. Uro trigger. Ooh, I'll draw that. Draw. Make a blue. This makes 4.
You already made the 4. You played fail. Oh, fail.
This came in after. It's just the time if that ability triggers.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I've got 4 floating. I'll use all of it but the white. Or I have a lot floating. I have a white floating after this. I'm gonna cast another ultimatum.
Yep. Sorry, Reed was right.
This one hits, still no Tear of the Peaks, so I'm doing some crazy stuff, but I'm not, like, really getting very far. I do get to draw 2 cards. Well, first Uro trigger. Put this in play, make a green. Second Uro trigger. Alright. I've already used my land for turn, I've got a green floating. Or no, I made 2 green, sorry. I have 2 Lotus Cobras. He also took 4. I have a white floating still too. I'll use one of the green and the white to cast that. And then I'll use the other green. Use the other green to cast a Scoos. And yeah, I probably have attacks here, but I don't know what they are, so I'm just gonna pass.
You, that's impressive. Watch this.
What?
Activate Whisper Squad. 1/1 tapped.
I feel like I screwed up, like I could have done more there, but yeah, whatever.
Alright. Great merchant. Take
Yeah.
8, 9?
9? Alright, I'm at 16.
Good.
I'm not gonna eat anything. I could, but I'm gonna pass.
Alright.
Draw. Yeah, I drew a fetch land. So my fetch land's gonna make 10 mana. Off of these. This is reasonable, don't worry.
Yeah, no, it feels reasonable.
It's gonna be mostly green.
You know what would be sick against your deck?
What?
Is a way to turn off ETBs. Like Hushbringer.
Oh, Hushbringer would actually be really good.
Although, like, you just get to put Arrow into play, but
That's
other than
true.
that.
Yeah, that's true.
Just wake me up when you're,
No,
when
I'm
you're
gonna
done.
do mostly blue. I'm gonna cast Seagate Restoration. I'll have 3 floating left over. It'll be green, red, blue left over. So I draw 3 and I have no maximum hand size. This. So I'm gonna use the 3 floating in these to cast Turn Timber Symbiosis. Terror. That's what I'm
There it
looking
is.
for.
Did you randomize that?
No. Doesn't matter, dude.
Come on, man. Let's play some real Magic for once.
Now I cast a Genesis Ultimatum.
Alright. Good news is you can't cast any more this game. Bad news is not true because you have Valga Recovery.
Value Recovery, yeah.
You still have, what, 1 less in your deck?
Well, I'm gonna put 3 Tear the Peaks in play.
Okay.
Well, there'll be 3. I'll have 3. This kills you.
No, I don't think so. Let's run the math.
Alright, fine. So this deals 12 to you. This one deals 10. This one deals 10. So that's 32.
Mhm.
These both deal 12. So 44, 56.
6. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
also
guess
get to draw 2 cards.
it's true.
Okay.
Then what if you, do you have like a way to put some lands into play?
No, actually, if I hit a land,
Oh,
it's gonna
loser.
be
Can you put
Beanstalk
some more
Giant,
lands in play?
Shame.
This does not feel like the matchup I want to be playing with this deck. I want to play against like creature decks
Yep.
and control decks.
I agree.
And like going over the top, because my clock is just so slow. Going over the top is like.
It feels like that deck needs to find a way to kill quicker, right?
Yeah, and then also like you've been like kind of like your creatures have been going uncontested, which is not good.
Yep.
Just like not drawing removal spells.
But I mean that's the choke point for this kind of deck in this format, right? Is that you need a way to interact with Omnath decks because they're gonna be there, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
How you feeling?
I'm good. You good?
Good. I'll keep.
Right, let's go. Keep. Good.
Balaged is a tap lane. You go.
Myria is a land. Put me 17, and I'll play an Acquisitions Expert.
Ooh. Let's go this field passage. Mountain, there you go. Take 2. Or 1, 19.
Sure. Good.
I'll bone crush that.
I'll build rights in response.
Ugh, that fizzles this way.
Yep. Good.
Brutal. Here you go.
Gross. Trigger.
Good old 3 temple draw.
Keep. Go.
You get a blue. We're playing on Myth. Draw. Here you go.
Well sacked. Pathway. Widerson, go.
You got another. You have 1 creature in the graveyard, so it's a 2/2.
2/2. Yeah.
I think I want to just get this now.
Build rights.
Ugh. Brutal. Go.
God. Couple. Bring rich on 2. Go.
I'm gonna play on that.
Yep.
I'll play Forest and I'll gain 4. Here you go.
Expert.
I'm just gonna points.
We'll choose Thirst.
Yep.
I really don't want to do this, but I think I have to. Attack for 2.
19.
Oh. Just frustrating, like I finally had a rule spell, and like you did the one game you haven't played a 2-drop like that we played so far.
It's fair. I'm gonna cast a Neuro. I guess I would have gained 3 off Uro. I'm just going to play a turn Timber Symbiosis as the Serpentine Wood. And go back to 19. Or no. I think I actually go down. 16. I don't know. I'll play a Tear. Here we go.
Up. Yep.
Squat it up.
Yep.
Draw. And bring back a row.
Mm-hmm.
Leave an Omnath and a Fabled Passage in my graveyard. Deal 6 to that, I guess. Draw. Play a land. And 25 at you.
14.
Then... not being stuck giant. The full squad. It's like Lingering Souls, dude.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah, I really didn't want to cast my Motif Source on your Omnath. I want to save it for exactly Terror of the Peaks.
Yep.
Just didn't know if like you had like an ultimatum coming next turn, like we'd just be able to go off. Either way, it's gonna be kind of bad for me. I just don't know if it was.
I mean, that's just what the bind Omnath puts you in, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to kill it, but it already got its value.
Names, get back my Fiend Artisan, and I guess we have one card in hand. The Artisan's just way too important, I think. Yep. Cast that, trigger, 4, 5, 9.
10.
23.
Go to 6.
Go.
Draw. So, how many creatures in your graveyard?
2.
2. Alright, I guess yeah, there's no way to split it. I'll deal 6 to that and 6 to that. Attack, trigger. I guess I'll put this in our furrow.
11 minus 23, go to 12.
I'm at 9. Here we go. Do another Agadeems?
We have 2 more lands.
Say, I was dead to Agadeems there.
Yeah, but I don't think you needed to be, though. Maybe not. Maybe you had to.
I think I had to. I think I needed to try it in that game. I could have cast this.
Well, I think you just, like, don't kill the Grey Merchant. You just kill the Fiend
Oh,
Artisan.
well, but then if I attack, I guess I just attack in the air and leave the Uro back. I'm
Yeah,
not
well,
gaining life
like,
with
I think you literally just go play this, kill your Fiend Artisan,
Yeah.
attack with this, and then,
you
like,
block with the Grey Merchant.
this. That's what I meant, sorry. Attack,
Oh, sure.
yeah, you can attack with what? Yeah, exactly. You can attack, like, with just this and, like, leave these guys back.
I like my play of just putting, like, having you dead next turn. Because then you were definitely dead next turn to me just casting this. I guess I could have left this back. Then I don't gain the life. I figured it was actually better to gain life than try to block one of those.
I'm trying to think of what I can kill you with at that point. If I guess if I draw the last Grey Merchant naturally, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I have 3 Aghademes and 1 Grave Matron, but it doesn't matter. I was very dead.
So close.
Yep.
So overall, thoughts on the matchup?
Do you want to play one more to make it 5, or do you want to just? Do you think the games are long enough to make it?
Yeah, we
for
can
4?
call it here.
Okay.
Overall thoughts on the matchup?
I think it's definitely a bad matchup. I think that my deck wants to play against decks that are playing to the ground with me.
Yep.
Or trying to use like removal, like trying to use like spells to try to interact with me.
Sure.
I think if you're doing a very powerful thing, like on your own, that can ignore every just like chip damage in a board state, then I'm just gonna lose every single time. Like I think like not only do you have a way to like go over the top of everything, but like you don't even have to get inside combat with me. You can just literally kill me with Terror of the Peaks.
Yep.
And then you still have like Scavenging Ooze and Bone Crusher Giant, which are just great against my deck.
Sure.
Feels very rough, very very rough. If I ever thought that was the best deck or like a contender in the format, I would never play this deck.
That's fair.
I think
I will say it feels like that you, like maybe there are hate cards you could be playing that you're not. I haven't done a look.
Yeah.
But it feels like in like a Fiend Artisan deck, there's got to be some creature that would have been good.
Well, I mentioned that Hushbringer might be good.
Sure.
It's really awkward against Uro.
Okay.
But if I think I can beat Uro, like try to use like the exile-based removal to deal with Uro, and then Hushbringer the rest of your deck, I think that's a decent spot. I'm still gonna be kind of soft to Bone Crusher plus Scavenging Ooze.
Sure.
Oh, plus any like sideboard juking you might do, like Elder Gargaroth or
well,
something like that.
I actually think your deck is really good against Bone Crusher plus Scavenging Ooze, except you're not good.
I don't think like Scavenging Ooze made it very hard for me to even like interact with that one game.
Sure.
Like
Okay.
I actually thought like I had a decent chance, even though you were going off.
Yep.
If it wasn't for Scavenging Ooze, because I'm trying to set the combo.
Yeah.
But like they just like all you have to do is leave up exactly 1 green source, and I can't combo kill you anymore.
Sure. Okay, that's fair.
So like, Bone Crusher actually felt less important than I thought it would.
Sure. I was gonna say your deck feels like it's resilient against Bone Crusher, and you have ways to play around it, which is a reason I like that deck because it feels like Bone Crusher is gonna be very prevalent. So like being good against it seems to be important. And I feel like your deck is good against that. I guess it's weaker against Scavenging Ooze.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the problem is I just go so far over the top of you, and you just have no counterplay to it. Like what do you do? Like it feels like you need maybe some counter spells, like maybe splashing for some counter spells could help.
I think Agonizing Remorse, like I'm playing through Duress right now, and I'm playing Kaisel Freebooter because I can find it off of the Fiend Artisan.
Sure.
But I think I need to have some number of Agonizing Remorse just because it can hit cards like Uro, it can hit cards like Terror, it can hit cards like Omnath, while still being able to hit Genesis Ultimatum, right?
Sure.
I also, not to like be complaining, but like I felt like the games where I was like playing through the board really nicely, you had the little scope and like I would just lose to that. But then like the game right there, where like I had a slow draw, very creature light, even had like multiple village rights but never drew into anything. I was like sitting on multiple removal spells and you just didn't play anything until you played Omnath.
Yep.
And like killing an Omnath doesn't feel that good.
No.
Just because like you've already drawn your card.
Yep.
It's legendary. You probably have another one. All your cards are so important that like it doesn't even matter. And like the only time killing an Omnath feels good is if I want like turn 1 creature, turn 2 creature, turn 3 creature, because that means I'm dealing you damage.
Sure.
But like you basically played it onto the empty board.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
And that's just kind of like a strength of your deck, right? Because like, I need to lead in some removal, but removal is not great against you because you just like create so much value.
Yep.
So like, I felt like, the way your deck is set up, I felt like I had to get lucky to have the pieces line up. Because if I don't have the removal and you don't have the creature, then it's like that's like best case scenario for me. Whereas like if I have the creature, like I guess like if you were to create like a diagram of like 4 possible situations, I think 3 out of the 4 are good for you.
Yeah, that's fair.
If that makes sense to the viewers, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Like there's the situation where I have it, situation where I don't, and there's a situation where you have the creature, and there's a situation where you don't have the creature.
Yep.
And like, 3 of those situations
You
are
need
good
to
for
have
you.
it, and I need to have the creature.
Yeah, kind of thing.
Every other situation is good for me.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yep. So, and I agree with it. In terms of this deck feels really powerful still. I still think it's going to be a really big contender for the format at the beginning. Like, I feel like it's just doing the most powerful thing. Like, I haven't seen anything more powerful than this. It doesn't feel like there's any, like, 2-card infinite combos or anything that goes over the top of this. Maybe Ugin, kind of, but this deck could play Ugin if it wanted to. I just am not playing it, but you could totally Genesis Ultimatum into Ugin if that's the way this deck needed to go.
Sure.
I do feel like this is maybe the biggest thing. I do feel like this deck's going to be kind of weak to counter spells, but...
I still think your deck is probably weak to a dedicated aggro deck.
Like a Winota deck?
Sure. Anything that's just like playing creatures and then like can kill your Lotus Cobra.
Sure.
Because in those situations, like you playing on Omnath on turn 4 is not going to matter, right?
That's-
I can like cleave through. I can, you know.
That's probably fair. This deck also lost to Teamer Elementals for the Teamer Adventures for the record.
Okay.
That was actually doing something went over the top of it where.
Fling kill you.
Well, the Bone Crushers early to kill my Lotus Cobras was good, and then they just played Beanstalk Giant and fling it at me.
Yep.
So that was a way to beat this deck. So maybe that's a point in Teamer Adventures favors, but yeah, this still feels like it's just doing something so powerful. And I think I was talking down about Turn Timber Symbiosis. It felt really good all those games. So
And Beanstalk Giant looked very good too.
Beanstalk Giant also looked very good. To be honest, it looked better than my Into the Royal thing or whatever. It's not Royal Shapers something.
The hero.
The hero, yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to Zach about this. I felt like Beanstalk Giant would be a natural inclusion because of the Terror of the Peaks and Genesis Ultimatum.
Sure, I can see it. I'm still not sold on Solemn. Beanstalks felt really good though.
Yeah.
I like Beanstalk.
And I think, are you still playing Vivian in the sideboard?
I do have Vivian in the sideboard,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, so it's just like one more creature to hit too. Like it felt like your deck wants to be a creature deck, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to trigger Terror. It's a combo deck.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
All makes sense. Well, I think that's enough for this time. Remember, guys, if you like the content we're making here and you want to support it and see more, liking the video really helps, subscribing to the channel really helps, leaving comments, all of that, we really appreciate it.
Yep. What Zach said.
And with that, we'll talk to you next time.